If you have a phone and a penis, then you have seen and heard thousands and thousands of advertisements from online ED medication sellers. I sell those same medications, and I don't know what the hell those ads are talking about. And if you knew what I know, you would be shocked at the truth behind the advertisements. And guess what? In just a few minutes, you will know exactly what I know. Now, you've seen this everywhere. Their medication, their mint, their whatever is 5 times faster than an oral tablet. Look, the science on this is crystal clear. These troches are on average about 12 minutes faster. That's it. 12 minutes. Is that actually going to make any difference in your life? Maybe if you're this guy. I took a sublingual 12 minutes ago. I'm terrible at time management, I'm impatient, and I don't believe in foreplay. Let's go. The second claim is that you need a 3-in-1 or a 4-in-1. And isn't it funny that as soon as a company came out with 3 active ingredients in one troche, another company came along with 4? You don't have to be Nostradamus to know what's going to happen next. A 5-in-1, right? So let me break down the science behind some of these ingredients that people are putting in these medications. First is bremelanotide, or PT141. Now, this was an important lesson learned for me as the head of shamelesscare.com, because I saw this offered in a formulary, sublingual bremelanotide or PT141. I took it to our medical director and he said, "Robert, is there any evidence that this does anything? Is it absorbed?" And I thought, well, of course there's evidence. A pharmacy is offering it. I went back to the pharmacy and they said, well, no, actually, there's no evidence. They didn't say it doesn't, but there was no evidence. I then went to another pharmacy that offers this, and there I asked the PharmD in charge, what evidence do you have? And she promised to get back to me with the evidence and never did. And what I realized when I looked into the research myself is that there's no evidence whatsoever that sublingual bremelanotide or PT141 is absorbed into the bloodstream. In fact, there's evidence that it doesn't. Next, let's talk about apomorphine. Apomorphine is an interesting drug. First of all, it has nothing to do with morphine at all. And I made a complete video about apomorphine that I'm going to pin in the first comment. But what it does is it's a dopamine agonist. And that means it mimics dopamine in your brain for a few minutes. And the science is pretty interesting because it can help you initiate sex. The other thing that it does is it is an ED medication in and of itself. It was actually an ED medication in Europe for a time, but it no longer is. The reason why is because sildenafil and tadalafil are both much, much better ED medications. But some people, including my company, are putting it in compounded ED medications as a way to help men initiate sex. And for that, it does a pretty good job. Apomorphine is like a breeze when you're on a bicycle, a tailwind. It can help you somewhat, but subtly, you may not even notice it. It's not going to turn somebody not interested in sex into a sex god, just like a tailwind, which I have right now, is not going to turn me into Lance Armstrong. So some of these ingredients are pretty scientifically sound, others are pretty scientifically unsound, so to say. And it's definitely a case of you shouldn't just automatically trust a telehealth company that is selling you a 2-in-1, 3-in-1, 4-in-1, 5-in-1, who knows what's coming next, perhaps a 15-in-1. Now, before I move on to claim number 3, I have to tell you why these websites and why these advertisements have a tendency to exaggerate. It is a bloodbath out there. Did you know that a single click, if you search erectile dysfunction medication online and click on that top ad on Google, you just cost a company around $30. If you ever want to waste about $100 of various companies' money, just go search ED medication and click on a few of the ads. It'll go by like that. So imagine if you were paying $30 for somebody to land on your webpage and you only had a few seconds to make them rethink the medication they're on and that their life is going to be fundamentally better with your medication. What would you say? Would you talk about nuance? Would you make people second guess anything? Or would you put things like 5x faster on the landing page? That is exactly what's going on now. Now, the next claim is that you need both sildenafil and tadalafil, that somehow makes a medication better. Look, guys, I'm going to state the obvious. You can only get so erect. So if you're already using sildenafil or tadalafil and it's working fine, you do not need both of these medications combined. Some people do. Okay, now we're getting into the land of the absurd. Have you ever noticed that all of these ads and all of these websites say lasts up to 36 hours? They're trying to get you to think that their mint or their chew or their combo is a magic elixir that lasts 36 hours when nothing else does. Do you know why it lasts 36 hours? Because it contains tadalafil. Tadalafil by itself also lasts 36 hours. There is absolutely nothing special about these mints, chews, troches, etc., that make them last 36 hours other than tadalafil. Now, this next one makes me ashamed to be in the same industry as these companies. I have started to notice on websites language about bigger erections and ads on Instagram where very beautiful women talk about their boyfriend or their husband being bigger than usual. Gross. Let me tell you guys something. We are back in the smiling Bob era.
Bob realized that he could have something better in his life. And what did he get? Why, a big boost of confidence.
Does anybody remember this guy? It was always some vague supplement that was supposed to make you bigger. That's where we are again. This is complete and utter nonsense. If your erection is full and erect, that is as big as you're going to get. And taking some special concoction that they want to put you on a subscription for is not going to make your penis any bigger. There is no truth to that whatsoever. There's one more thing that you fundamentally have to understand, or you are going to get taken for the ride of your life, and not in the sexy way that you are hoping. When you go to a website and you see something that's like first month free or price as low as, and then a button that says something like get started. Notice there's no actual pricing information on the landing page. When you click get started, instead of being shown a price, which they could do if they want to, they're first going to collect all of your private health information. And I got to tell you, as somebody that runs one of these companies, there is absolutely no reason to do that, except they're trying to keep you on that web page long enough because they know once you've been there long enough and they've hit you with enough positive messages about the treatment and how amazing your wife is going to think you are in bed and all this, that, and the other thing, that you are going to end up buying the medication no matter what it costs when they end up showing you the price. I hate all of that. I hate all of that. These medications can help certain men, but subscriptions never do, and hiding the price certainly doesn't help anybody. When you go to shamelesscare.com, you will see the price right there on the landing page. You can see it 3 seconds after you hit the landing page. Know what the price is, know that there is no subscriptions, and know this, because this is going to be really hard for you to figure out. It's typically about half the cost of all the companies that you've seen advertising on the internet because we don't have any ads. I'm Robert from Shameless Care. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.